Rath here at SetThePaceTriathlon.com. We're here to talk about Ironman California. So if you're watching this, you got any questions, post them. I'm looking on the side here at another monitor. I've got the information posted up here, managing the whole broadcast. So if you got any questions, post them on there. I'll see if during the live broadcast, if I can help answer your questions. So make sure you post them there. Adjusting my windows here, right here, so I can see the comments. If you're watching this later on a replay, make sure you put comments on the videos, either on Facebook or YouTube. I get notifications and I go back there and try to answer as best as possible, or maybe if I miss something or anything like that. But to preface, Ironman California, we're going to talk about the bike course today. I am not doing the race personally, but I have athletes. I'm going to make plans for the race, so I'm putting this information out there because, like I said in most of my videos, I'll go over this information with athletes doing the course, and I'll kind of do a write-up anyway and send it to them. Kill two birds with one stone, because I get a lot of people asking about, hey, what do you think about this course? So if I've done a video on the course, boom, there you go. This is what I think of the course. If I go do the race, I might come back later and kind of make a second video to kind of follow up and be like, hey, I did the race, and here's what I really think of the course. Because doing it in person is a little bit different than seeing it from afar and looking at profiles, but do the best we can. Just to make sure that you guys are somewhat prepared what's going to be out there on race day. So, like I said, I got this open up live. So if you put a comment, I can see that. If you have any questions, I'll try to do the best I can. So Ironman California in Sacramento, California. So basically, I just go to the Ironman main website here and pull up the course, look at the bike profile. Ironman California bike course is flat and fast, 2-loop tour of the beautiful farm and wine country. Sacramento River Delta region athletes will tour what makes Sacramento the farm to Fork City, which will showcase the great agricultural region of the Central Valley. Athletes will be able to test their fitness and break their best on this flat bike course. So don't be fooled. I've done videos and I've talked about the kind of the flat and fast bike course. Don't be duped into thinking you can just go out there and wail on this course and go the fastest you possibly can, because you still got to pay the price when you come off the bike. A lot of people kind of forget that, 26.2 miles, you still have to do 26.2 miles after you get off a 112-mile bike ride, even as fast as you can do it. But if you're doing it at 110% of FTP and you're just hammering it the entire time, I do believe you're going to pay for it. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully prepared for a flat course, because you'll be pedaling basically the whole time. So what I like to do is I pull up the map. I also downloaded my computer. Just show you that, just to make sure that if I'm doing the race, I have this later and also post it up on the website and replay this video. I'll post a link to it too. But I like to just have it just in case to look back and reference to. But basically you look and you're going to be basically heading south for the ride, and then heading north back up. And then it is a 2-loop course. So if you'll look, you should be able to find the little loopy loop right here, which is begin the second loop, which is a little bit, if you're going here in the front and you're doing the loopy loop, that's kind of mean to take you all the way back basically to the finish line of the bike course and then send you back out. Nothing more, I don't know, I wouldn't call it defeating, but it is a little kind of deflating a little bit when you come back in and you realize I still got 56 more miles to go. I'm kind of ready to be off the bike at this point. At least for me personally, when I get a halfway point in a full Ironman race, at that point I'm kind of second guessing my decisions of doing a full Ironman and how comfortable or uncomfortable this is. But you never know. Maybe you're out there and it's the greatest day ever and it doesn't really faze you. So hopefully that's the case. But you get 2 loops, so I would highly recommend, if you get out there, you always got to be out there 2 days early, because they usually do not let you check in the day before a race. I'd go out and have an opportunity to maybe drive the course. If you do 56 miles, just about, you cover about the full entire race course, because it is a 2-loop course. So just be aware of that, and maybe kind of mentally mark where the aid station is going to be at. You can take this map with you. They've got turn-by-turn instructions. Just beware, sometimes it's not the most accurate, so I definitely print this map out and then maybe, fire up Google Maps just to make sure you stay on course, so you know where you're going. And as always, pay attention to the markings on the streets and make sure you don't miss your turns out there. But it is nice because on the PDF, it's got the elevation profile and a whopping 710 feet, so that is pretty flat. I will say, you can go to Ruby.com, you can go to Garmin Connect, and you can download the courses of other people that have done them and made them public. So I definitely do that and kind of just check, just a spot check on the elevation gains, because sometimes what's on the maps isn't what athletes get for races. I did 70.3 Memphis a few weeks ago, and my watch almost got double, but it was also raining, so it could be causing problems with my barometer on my watch, my Phoenix 6, just all kinds of different things. So sometimes people do the race and they get there afterwards and they find that the elevation doesn't exactly match up. Ironman's doing this for a while now, so I would like to think that they've got a pretty good system to go out there and register elevation. So just be aware, Ruby.com, Garmin Connect, you can go down there, download the course. Other people have ridden it and they make them public, so you can go look them. You can download it. At the time of this recording of this video, we're 2 weeks out from race day, so it's a little bit late to ride the entire course or something like that. But maybe you can download it and ride half of it this weekend if you're kind of tapering into the race. Especially, with 700 feet of elevation gain, if you ride half the course, that's 350-ish or so. It's really not going to be, shouldn't be super challenging. So if you ride half the course the weekend before, it shouldn't be the end of the world. But if you're in places like I am here in Kansas City in the Midwest and it gets a little bit cooler, maybe you don't have the opportunity to go outside and ride, and you're kind of maybe a fair weather fan. I don't like to ride when it's below 40 personally. So it's good. You could download the course, or maybe if you're just in a situation where the trainer is all you got and the only option you have. So you can download the course. You can, like I said, I've got a Ruby AR subscription. Um, I've got Garmin Connect. You can run your smart trainer from your Garmin watch. You can run it as a course, and it'll control your trainer as well. So there's tons of options. To even if you don't live in the area, you can simulate the course and kind of see what it feels like. But like I said, 710 feet of gain over a 112 mile bike. Really, I don't think you're going to get much more experience over actually riding the course. So if you're, locally, you've got, here in Kansas City, we're a little bit hillier. So I think if you can get outdoors and ride it, I think you'll be plenty prepared. But like I said, the key for this course is if there is no rolling hills and it's going to be flat, you're going to be pedaling the entire time. So hopefully you're comfortable being in the aero position and finding that target power and just kind of sticking to it the entire ride. There's going to be a few little climbs, but nothing crazy. So overall, you have your FTP target, might be 75% of FTP, maybe your high end is Z3. And even if you're feeling great, I would not sit there. I would not crush it. I would not be like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go for 110% FTP because, hey, it's flat and it's fast and I'm feeling good. Make sure you stick to your plan no matter what, no matter how the course feels, because you got 26.2 miles to use up any extra energy you had. Nobody comes into the end of the run saying, I've got way too much energy left. I wish I would have not saved some of it for the last 6 miles of the run. Pretty much when you get to mile 20 on the run, everybody's wishing they had much more energy than they do, and hopefully hoping for more than enough to get them through the end of the race. So, like I said, be smart about your bike, have a good strategy, have a good plan. This includes hydration, nutrition, and kind of a power output target, or if you're going by feel, or if you're going by heart rate, make sure you have those targets ready to go. Make sure you stick to them. Make sure you don't get in there and be like, I feel great, and crush the first loop, and then the second loop you're dragging ass. So make sure that you got your targets and you're sticking with it no matter what, no matter how good or how bad you're feeling. If you're feeling bad on the first loop, maybe it's time to adjust your targets or whatever. But when you go out there, make sure you have your targets in mind. So specifically on the course, like I said, you're going out north and you're coming back. It's basically pretty straightforward. I think you have lots of opportunities to be in aero position along extended periods of times on flats. The one thing I will say is just, for 2021, looking at the weather, I'll do a separate post specifically about weather, but looking at the conditions you could face, Sunday the 24th, 63 degrees for the high, which is kind of chilly. And if it's raining, that's going to be kind of a cold bike ride. So make sure that you bring in rain gear and warm gear to keep you warm in case it does rain. You're going to have a little bit of a headwind at 10 miles an hour. Now, people have gone out there and ridden the course and posted in other groups that sometimes they get 20 mile per hour headwinds out there, especially if if you got a wind coming out of the south and you're heading north. And once you get out of town, you got that headwind on the way coming back. You have a tailwind. So if you're looking at the weather predictions, you got a little bit of southwest wind at 10 miles an hour. So if it's coming, out of the west a little bit, you're going to be kind of facing a headwind coming out, but it's a nice tailwind coming back. So just keep that in mind. So when you're riding out there and you got your power plan, let's say for an example, and you're targeting 150 watts, you're probably not going to want to crush it to stay at 150 watts if you've got a 10-mile-per-hour headwind. Maybe dial it down to 140, or maybe that is an opportunity to maybe 155 watts or whatever. Put a little bit more energy in because you know you're going to have that tailwind. It's going to push you to 20, 21 miles an hour or something, and you're only doing 125 watts to get there. Don't want to get that tailwind and then push it up and try to hit your power goals when you're only getting, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of benefit from being at a substantially higher effort to get to that wattage, if that makes sense. So, like I said, make sure you're planning your wattage and you're taking into the conditions into account. So, a wind, 10 miles per hour or so. So, this is, I think, a great opportunity. If you got an aero helmet, bring it. If you got aero wheels, if you got disc wheels, I think this is a good opportunity to bring all that stuff. I think it will be helpful, and there won't be, just looking at the weather predictions, there won't be a substantial wind element for crosswinds to make it dangerous for you necessarily. So that's my recommendations. I would plan for sun, bring sunscreen, all that kind of good stuff. But especially for 2021, looking at the weather forecast, it's like 68 degrees, 63 degrees, and rain. So I definitely bring rain gear and get prepared for that. I posted plenty of videos on the rain. I've done Ironman Tulsa in 2021. It rained 112-mile bike ride, but luckily it was in the 70s, so it wasn't really cold. It was just wet. It was kind of convenient because it did get a little warm, a little bit humid, but the rain kind of kept it cool the entire time. So that's going to be my recommendations for that. Like I said, aero helmets. Bring a visor. I wear my visor in the rain just to keep the rain from smattering in my eyes. If you don't have a visor, bring sunglasses. Or you can bring clear glasses if it's going to be overcast, so at least it's not as tinted. But just bring something to protect your eyes, especially when you're rolling through. You're throwing all that stuff up off your wheels, and people are throwing stuff. If you're coming up passing them or passing you, they throw stuff in your eyes. So make sure you have glasses to protect yourself, especially if it does start raining a decent amount, like it did at 7.3 Memphis for me. It was a downpour, and you could hear it like smacking your helmet and stuff and your visor. It was actually kind of nice to have a full face visor to where it wasn't hitting you in the eyes and stinging your eyes and causing discomfort and the possibility of a safety issue where you couldn't see because you had rain coming in your eyes so much. So definitely bring something to protect your eyes if it does rain. But like I said, I think this is a good opportunity. I think you're going to be plenty of time in aero position. So hopefully you've been training for aero and planning on it. Especially with elevation gain of 710 feet, you should be able to stay. There might be a few little spikes here and there, maybe where you have to hop out of aero and be on the bars, or stay up the pedals or something like that. But really, overall, this looks like a pretty doable course. So I think the keys are: don't go above and beyond what you train for. Make sure you stay within yourself. Hydration, nutrition, I think is going to be key, especially if it's cooler. You still need to hydrate, but just be careful not to overhydrate. You still need your nutrition because you still got 26.2-mile run at the end. So as I say with most videos, just make sure it's going to be super critical for this one. So make sure you set like a timer on your watch or something, or you plan it out by aid stations. You want this many bottles done by each aid station. Make sure you plan them out because they got mile markers by them. So I think that's going to be the big key is if it is raining, if it's cool. A lot of people kind of forget about hydration, and when you get on the run, it's really going to show up because by mile 13, 14, that dehydration is going to really kick in. So if you didn't stay on top of your plan on the bike, I think you're going to be kind of hurting when it comes to the run. So I think that's the big keys is if you got rain, you got to focus on hydration and nutrition. And then, staying within yourself and not going outside of your comfort zone and what you train for and saying, oh, well, this bike's easy, so I'm just going to, mash the gears and power through it as hard as possible because you're going to pay for it on the run. Maybe you save 5 minutes on the bike, but then you add 15 minutes on the run because you have to walk the last 10 miles or something, or do a walk run where you plan to run. So just be aware of that. I think this course overall, I think it could be fast. Hopefully you planned on training for a flat course. Like I said, you'd probably be pedaling the entire time. There's really no, when you look at the course, there's a few little downhills, a few little steep sections. I think you have an opportunity, to coast for a little bit and then, keep riding and recover a little bit on the backside. But overall, you should be pedaling the entire time. Like I said, it's not rollers. It's not like Chattanooga or Tulsa or Wisconsin where you got constant rollers where you can kind of recover on the backside, crest over the top. I think it's just going to be pedal down, hit your power goals, and maybe adjust them for a little bit of headwind on race day if you got it. Other than that, a lot of people have posted. I haven't seen too much chatter about the road conditions being very bad, so I think the road conditions are in pretty good shape. Like I said, I think the headwind is a major thing when you come out. When you come back in, you get that nice tailwind. So just make sure you adjust for that and don't ride outside yourself, hammering it with the tailwind, thinking, oh, I'm just going to make it up, especially when it's a 2-loop course. So you come out and you hammer it back in, because coming back in is a little bit of a climb up. So hopefully it will help you out a little bit, save a little bit of energy when you got that overall incline back into the turnaround, and then use that energy to finish out the bike ride. But again, the race is not quote won or lost on the bike. You can go out there and have a mediocre bike, but if you've got enough energy to do the run, it shouldn't be a problem. But if you go out there and overextend yourself on the bike, it will show up on the run and you'll be uncomfortable. Especially these flat and fast bike courses, a lot of people have a tendency to just kind of go out and overexert themselves, and it's just kind of tough, and then they pay for it on the run. But other than that, I haven't seen any comments or anything. But like I said, I'm just doing a quick review of the course. So hopefully you've looked in the maps. Hopefully you get there a couple days beforehand, drive it, and just check out the course. Be ready for it. Bring cold gear, bring rain gear, bring your aero gear, bring all the gear. So just make sure you're ready for it. It does look like a decent course overall. Shouldn't be too wild or crazy. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you thought I missed something, put them in the comments. If you think I did a horrible job, put that in the comments too. Trying to make these, and hopefully they're beneficial for you, because I want to make them so they are. So I spend my time doing this for you guys. And then YouTube, if you see it on there, give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you got anything in there, put it in the comments. Like I said, I check all the notifications and try to get back to everybody. So hopefully this helps you out, and hopefully you guys are ready. Good luck with the rest of your training, and good luck on race day. We'll see you at the finish line.